so now we have a 10-minute presentation from a speaker who you would love to listen to. So our speaker is the Honorable Commissioner for Chieftaincy and Community Affairs in Rivers State of Nigeria, obtaining a Bachelor of Science degree in Human Anatomy from the University of Port Harcourt, a postgraduate diploma and Master of Science degrees in Human Resource Management from the Rivers State University, a Master of Science degree in Public Health from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and is currently pursuing a Doctor of Philosophy degree in Public Health from the University of Port Harcourt. Our speaker is a former banker with the First Bank of Nigeria, PLC, and chairman of Fieldman Nigeria Limited, a waste management outfit, and has grown through the ranks in public service and the political space in Rivers State of Nigeria after many years of successful business life. Our speaker is currently serving as the Rivers State Commissioner for Chieftaincy and Community Affairs. Let's welcome the Honorable Sam Soni Ejekwu, KGS, JP. And after him, we'll have some beautiful music and then another panel which will keep you riveted. So, Honorable Ejekwu, the audience is ready for you. Thank you.
Yeah. Good afternoon, the chancellors and presidents of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would appeal that I get a minute to react to what the panelists discussed. Just a minute of it. I'm happy with the content of this discussion. Udemaya particularly talked about his completing school, not dropping out of school. That is key. That is very key. I want our young persons to take note of it, because what I see is that children with passion for something tend to abandon school. I was in class at the University of Port Harcourt, and I had a classmate who, while lectures were going on, he would always be drawing aeroplane. While the lecture is going on, he is drawing. He was not concerned about school. But luckily for him, his parents are well-to-do. They took him abroad. Today, he's a pilot. But he does not have, there is something he has missed out. A lot of us see passion as what will lead to disobedience. Because you have passion for this, whatever your parents want you to do, you want to disobey. You are not interested in obeying them. You say that this is my passion. I have seen it fail. Yesterday, in my family devotion with my children, we talked about a classical case where a lady, very well known to us, the parents known to us, insisted on what she wanted. The parents tried. It didn't work. And what happened? She crashed. Today she is unhappy. Everybody is unhappy. She has gone back home to her parents, and there is much sorrow in that family. Now, passion in social media could be negative. We know of body build passion. Some persons are interested in body image, and what happens? That leads them to do what is wrong. You all know about Bob Risky. He is passionate about body passion. And transgender. You can't imagine where a male decides to turn himself into a female, and he has a whole lot of followership, millions that follow him. He has become mentor to a lot of young people. That's passion that is negative and gone bad. Now let's go to the subject of my talk, which is mental health of young persons in a changing world of drug addiction and cultism. The youth, like we know, is the rising generation. They are the ones that should sustain, improve, or destroy the core values of the society. There is therefore need to nurture them, and the right place to begin to nurture them should be with their mental health. Now let's take some statistics. Over 1.8 billion young persons of age 10 to 12 contribute nothing but create disorder in the society. 9 out of the 10 of these young persons, according to World Health Organizations, live in less developed countries, including China, India, and Nigeria. Now, in discussing mental health of young persons in a changing world complicated by drug addiction and cultism, we will define mental health as a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and can contribute his or her own quota to the proper development of the society. According to the World Health Organization, mental health includes subjective well-being, perceived self efficacy, autonomy, competence, intergenerational dependence, and self-actualization of one's intellectual and emotional potential. Mental health is an important and essential component of health. It is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the health or the absence of disease or infirmity. Now let's look at youths around the world have faced, over the last couple of years, several impacting changes. With the invention of faster modes of transport, ease of migration across countries, and the revolutionary developments in information technology, like our discussants said. These changes have resulted in major challenges to the mental health professionals and youths. A real-life in-person interaction is being increasingly replaced by an artificial sense of intimacy through the social networking. A lot of our youths go into too much of social networking and so much of internet activities. The current day youth spends a substantial time of the day on the internet and is expected and is exposed to information implosion, including cybercrimes, cyberbullying, and violent video games, which is very, very common amongst our youths. That's why the church and parents will need to step in, because the trend is getting so alarming that I get worried on a daily basis. The internet is also a source of misinformation, source of which is often not verified and has a potential of harming the young mind. Cyberbullying is emerging as a major mode of bullying, which has become increasingly common in the last few years with the increased access to and use of internet-based services. You see, When we talk about cyberbullying amongst the young persons, it appears like something that is far-fetched. It's around us. But then we must be able to get our children to trust us, to discuss with us. Early this year, my son came back and was so scared to the point that his mom noticed. When she noticed, well, like had been said severally, children tend to gravitate more towards their mothers. I don't know why. Even if the father pays all the bills and carries all the troubles, whatever it is, they go to their mother. And some women, some mothers will protect their children and will not want the father who is or who should be a disciplinarian to handle that matter. Luckily, she told me, and I called him. And by the time we discussed, I discovered that he had been threatened severally, I saw his phone, by the boys around the city of Port Harcourt. Well, because of his movement, his performance, who he is, and all that, they are threatening that if he does not join them in a particular cult, what will happen to him will be very sad. They gave examples. And some of those examples were people he knew. So it appeared very real, very, very real. So I called him and told him that, look, these threats should not mar your life. So what happened? I took care of that situation, took the numbers. Some of them I went to their parents, because oftentimes parents don't even know where their children belong. I went to their parents, and I dealt with it. And the threat stopped. And some of them, from his own account, became different because their parents got involved. So this is something that we really need to look at as family, as responsible members of the society. Some statistics again, globally, 1 in 7 adolescents aged between 10 and 19 is estimated to live with diagnosed mental health problems. And about 20 to 25% of young persons suffer from mental and substance use disorder worldwide, according to Patel. There is considerable neglect of mental health issues in most of our countries. Neglect, oftentimes not from the children, but from those that should mentor them. Some churches, religious places, mosques, they don't pay attention to what happens to the children. And that is the future. That is the future of the world. Most churches have no program. Most mosques and other religious places have no program for young persons. That is where character should be molded. Young persons with mental health problems often resort to substance abuse and other damaging behaviors. Frustration and all whatnot will lead to children getting involved in cultism, in taking illicit drugs. A lot of our children are into illicit drug abuse, but we don't know. Apart from the mothers that may notice, we don't know. And that is what has kept the world the way it is today. Now, according to Feldman, everyone has the risk of developing mental health issues despite their age, sex, income, or ethnicity. However, social and financial circumstances, biological factors, and lifestyle changes can shape a person's mental health. Some of the commonly identified factors contributing to poor mental health include childhood abuse, trauma or neglect, poor parenting, we've talked about this, severe or long-term stress, domestic violence, even between the man and his wife at home. Homelessness, bullying. Some bully our children. It creates mental health issues with them. You tell them that they never do well. They will never do well because they have done this. They are going to have X, Y, Z problem. You're watching them, that they've already failed in life, and that gets into them and creates problems. Some experience discrimination and stigma, including social disadvantage, poverty, bereavement, and other issues will lead to mental health problems. Let me conclude. Now, prevention of mental health disorders. To improve mental health, focusing on stopping whatever factors that will lead to these mental health issues is a key thing. That is a primary thing that should be done. Stop it. Don't let it happen. Because by the time it happens, the cost of bringing them back, the cost of managing them, the cost of returning them to complete sanity is usually very high. Secondary prevention is supporting those that are at risk of experiencing mental health problems, either because of the characteristics they were born with or an experience they had. Now, tertiary and the last type of prevention that I'll talk about is helping people living with mental health problems. Some of them abandon them. We heard what the Vice President said. Some have issues with health. Some have issues with their thought processes, their behavior. And oftentimes the family sees them as being possessed of one spirit or the other, and they abandon them. And then they turn out to become monsters in the society. Now, for us, supporting the rising generation, what is our role as members of the society? All of us. It's not limited to one person. It's not limited to the parents. When we were brought up, we are children of every member of the society, of the community. A mom, an elderly person seeing you doing a wrong thing will correct you, will spank you, and your parents will come back and thank you and thank him for doing so. But today it is different. Most parents will come in defense of their children. Why didn't you report them to me? Let me be the one to discipline them. That is something we have to stop. What is our role as parents? As parents, what role do we play? When children start deviating and misbehaving, we should know if we are sensitive enough. What is the role of the church? Thank God for what the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is doing. I wish that this could be replicated in other cities, in other African countries. Because I believe that every young person that is here today will not live here the same. They will get home with something. What is the role of government? Now, stakeholders are challenged to rise to their God-given duties in love and diligence towards raising our youth for a better world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Sam Soni Ejekwu. Thank you very much. Another round of applause for him.